Y'all will not believe this story, I'm telling you. There's a stuck-up bride that needs to be called out. This story is absolutely unbelievable. So this woman pictured here was a guest at a wedding. And she is talking about on videos on TikTok, leaving a wedding when the bride of the wedding had an issue with what she, the guest, had on. Elise Brown reportedly went on TikTok to share her story about the situation. She filmed a video in her car just moments after she left the wedding. By the way, this is the dress that she had on the left side. This is Elise. This is the dress she had on for the wedding. So in a video, she is stating that she is currently sitting in a car because she had to drive 2 hours to a wedding for one of her husband's friends. So her husband was friends with the groom. Evidently, I don't know if she knew the groom, but I know she didn't know the bride. So she said they had been there for like a total of 15 minutes, and the bride goes up to her and tells her that her outfit was inappropriate for her wedding. According to Elise, there was a supposed dress code that she didn't even know existed. You know why? That's because she never got a wedding invitation mailed to her home. She said instead of a formal invitation, her husband got a text message from the groom inviting them. Now that is beyond tacky right there, that the bride and groom invited them over text, yet they sent everybody else formal invitations. But that's not even the point of the story. She said, so it's the year 2025. Is this what brides do to their guests now? She said, you just walk up to your guest and tell them that their outfits are inappropriate? She said she didn't even know this was a thing. I guess like the bride telling people what to wear to the wedding. She said she had been married 11 years. Elise had been. She said, so is this what brides do these days? No, girl, it's not. What she did was wrong. She said she was so disappointed and just ready to go home. So Elise then clarified in a follow-up video that they weren't actually forced to leave the wedding. They chose to on their own. You know why? Because reportedly the bride said, typically I'd send people home, but since you drove so far, I'll let you stay. Really? The bride then reportedly introduced herself. So she didn't even introduce herself to Elise first. What a stuck-up you-know-what. Elise said she wasn't going to stay in a situation like that, so they left. And I don't blame her. She said she walked on up out of that venue. Then she shared yet another TikTok video where she showed their wedding outfits, what they wore, both she and her husband. She had on a knee-length blue, white, and pink wrap dress. And it had a geometric pattern like you can see right here on the left. And her husband had on a navy suit with a light pink shirt. That is absolutely wedding material. But you know what the bride told her husband? That he shouldn't be in pink or be wearing a pink tie. And then he was asked to remove his freaking tie. Unreal. People who watched Elise's videos were shocked. They slammed the bride, and rightfully so. One person said that the man marrying this woman is in for a rough ride, and I agree. Someone else said that it's sad the bride was more concerned with what guests were wearing than enjoying her own wedding. That's true too. Another said it's a shame the groom let her talk to them like that, to his friends like that, and that the friendship definitely needs to be cut. Elise said her husband was kind of hurt about the situation because he and the groom had been longtime friends. But reportedly later, listen to this, Elise got her hands on the official wedding invitation that they should have gotten in the mail to begin with. It detailed that dress code that the poor people had no idea about. The required colors were reportedly smoky gray, sunflower yellow, midnight blue, and crimson red. Like what y'all, I mean, these colors don't even really sound all that pretty together, number one. But number two, notice the adjectives the bride had to put in front of those colors. Not just yellow, but sunflower yellow. Not just blue, but midnight blue. Not just red, but crimson red. And what was the other one? Gray, smoky gray. Why can't you just say red, gray, yellow, and blue? Like, who does this crap? The invitation then reportedly said, those 4 solid colors only was in caps, and no patterns were allowed for anyone. So in a recent update, Elise said that the groom admitted to not sharing the dress code with her husband when he texted the husband. However, the witch dropped the W at a B of a bride is still refusing to apologize. Yet she has the nerve to ask Elise to stop talking about it on TikTok. Oh no ma'am, it doesn't work like that. You act like that, there's consequences. I wish I knew the bride so I could actually show her face and call her out for real for real. Your wedding guests are spending their time and money to come to and travel to your wedding. Yet you think you have the right to tell them what to wear. I get formal versus informal, but no patterns, this color, not just red, but crimson red, not just blue, but midnight blue. Really? I mean, my gosh, it's not like they showed up in blue jeans. You should just be thankful they thought enough of you to come to your wedding. This bride definitely needs a reality check, and I feel sorry for the husband. What do y'all think? Am I out of line for thinking all of this? I mean, yeah, it's her wedding. I get that. I get to an extent telling guests what to wear, like whether it's formal or informal, but this and then having the nerve to say something when you didn't even give them an invitation, just unreal. Let me know what you think in the comments. For more content, make sure to follow and subscribe over on YouTube.